Welcome to Salaam Nerds Podcast. We do reviews and recaps of your favorite TV shows, movies, and current events.
Yo, it's Salaam Nerds. My name is Steve, aka E8-9. I'm here with my boy Chad.
We drop live episodes on YouTube on Sundays, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays at 10:30 p.m. Eastern. Thank you to all our supporters. Please help us by subscribing and leaving a good review on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. All episodes can also be found everywhere podcasts are found.
Yo, Salaam Nerd. This is your boy Neebs, aka Watchman Neebs, and I'm here with the lovely April. Welcome to the show, April. How are you doing?
I'm so incredibly busy, but I'm doing okay.
Are you too busy to watch the Bachelor season finale?
I caught the highlights because I get home from work at 6 and it's now 7 p.m. So I just skimmed through as quickly as possible.
I gotta say, this season was a little lackluster. It was hard to get through.
Agreed.
I don't know what's happening, man. Is it over? Is the hype of the Bachelor over?
It might be over because now apparently, spoiler alert, they're sending some of the golden bachelorette people to the beach for Bachelor in Paradise. It's like,
that
why?
is bizarre. That is bizarre. Like, why are they doing that? Number one, no one wants to be seeing that. And number two, like, these poor people, like all the people who go there talk about how rough it is. Like, there's bugs, there's sand, they get food poisoning. You're gonna send all people to this? You're gonna send these like people in their like 60s and 70s into this desert like beach, and they just gotta deal with the crabs and like the heat and like sleeping on these little beds with no AC, getting a heartburn, over drinking. Like, I'm worried about these guys. I'm worried about them.
Someone protect Charles.
Oh,
please.
Man. Charles is not allowed to go. Charles is not allowed.
He's not allowed. I love him so much, and he can't go because I don't want him to die.
We need to protect him. So, yo, this is dangerous out there, man. What if they go for a swim and they like the current takes them? I'm so worried about these old people. It's like, oh no, God has them now. Like, what are we gonna do? I am seriously worried about these people. And like, what are they gonna do? Is like an old man gonna steal one of these like young 23-year-olds? Like, what's gonna happen with that?
It's like the Titanic. I'll never let go.
Right? And the thing is, like, you have to give your rose to somebody or else they go home. Are there gonna be like old people giving the roses to young people and young people giving their stuff to old people just so they can stay? Like, it's gonna be bizarre.
I mean, they had a year and a half or whatever to think of a better way to bring back Bachelor in Paradise, and this is not it.
No, and they haven't even announced anything for Bachelorette yet, so I don't even know if they're going to be doing Bachelorette.
Well, yeah, because those did we talk about last time? Those executive producers have now left the show too, so it's like, who is left?
Who's left? And like, they're either going to have to go back to their toxic ways and make the show scandalous to get people more viewers, or I think they're just going to have to retire the show. I don't know, man. I don't know if I could keep going, especially with like so many other shows out there like Temptation Island and Love Island and all the other islands. I don't know. You know, Traitors. There's a lot of stuff out there now.
If you guys started doing Temptation Island, it's on Netflix now, right?
I believe so, yeah.
I'm so joining you guys for that because
let's do it. Let's do Temptation Island. The only thing that I don't like about these reality shows on Netflix is they drop a bunch of them at once, and we can't do like one a week. And so you have to watch like 4 episodes in 1 week, and they're hard to get through too. Like Love is Blind, getting through like 6 episodes just to do that week's podcast is a lot. Is a lot.
I mean, maybe it is because of relevancy, but you have to do 4 episodes in 1 week.
Yeah, you have to. I don't know. But here's the thing, right? And I feel like The Bachelor is also a victim to this. We didn't need 3 hours for this. This could have been an email. I don't know how else to say this.
Mhm.
Like they hype the shit out of, it's part of my language. They hype the whole thing about like him not being able to decide between two girls, and like it was kind of just like 5 minutes of him like not knowing what to do to the last minute, and then he picks Juliana, and it's kind of just like glossed over. It's
Mhm.
kind of weird.
I I was not feeling their connection at all season long.
Juliana and his.
Mhm.
Yeah, it was something was off about them. Like I feel like it didn't connect until the very end, whereas like I feel like Letitia was like all in. She was 10 toes down. Like
Mhm.
she was like, pick me. Like she pulled a Meredith Grey. Like she
Choose me.
Oh man, and he still didn't, and that was bizarre. And the other thing is like I think the editors really protected him, because if he did all the things that she is saying he did, he would have been roasted. Roasted.
I'm surprised he's not getting a bigger roast than he is
Yeah.
right now.
Like for him to be like, I telling her that like, yeah, it's going to be you, and saying that from like week 2, and then also saying it to like the overnights and saying I'm gonna be engaged tomorrow, and he's like, yeah, I love you, I love you, I love you. That's unhinged behavior if you know what you're gonna do.
Mhm.
And if you don't know what you're gonna do, like I feel like uh that's also kind of weird. Then how'd like Juliana feel about him being like not knowing who to pick until the last minute?
Mhm.
And then as soon as he picks, he's like, sure. He's like,
Mhm.
sure. Because she tells him, like, are you sure? She says, like, she tries to give him, like, a basically like an out, or kind of say, like, hey, what happened here? And he's kind of like, no. And she's like, the switch
Mhm.
up was wild. And I'm
Mhm.
like, girl, I feel it. I feel it.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah, I loved her because I love Latia's eyes because they are so expressive,
They
but
are.
her face is very stoic, but her eyes were very expressive.
She's so beautiful. Like when she's like, I can watch her all day and just be like, the way she expresses and emotes is like so like put together, but you can also feel her emotions. Like she's not like breaking down and crying. She's like,
Mhm. What?
I'm gonna hold myself together, but
Mhm.
also I'm gonna not let you off the hook. I'm going to hold you down for all the shit that you did. And
Mhm.
she did not hesitate. And I think he kind of played it well too, but he didn't. I don't know. Like I wanted more from him, but he played it in a way where he's like, okay, yeah, it's my fault, and moved on. I feel like he was coached. He was like,
Mhm.
the less just accept it, apologize, and move on, and like that's
Mhm.
what we'll do in the show, and that's kind of what he did. But like, I kind of wanted him to show more remorse for like what he did, because that was leading her on like that was crazy.
So right before we hopped on, I watched a clip from the Good Morning America interview with him and Juliana.
Yeah,
And the interviewer asked, what do you have to say about to the fans about your breakup with Latina?
yeah.
And he said, oh, well, we have to show her empathy and all this stuff, completely deflecting any reflection on his actions.
Yeah,
And it's like that, I were we duped this entire season, Neves?
I think I don't. I think everyone was duped, especially Latia. Like that's crazy.
Mhm.
And the thing is, the one saving grace for him is that Latia said she wasn't going to do anything in fantasies.
Mhm.
And my thing is, if that wasn't the case, I would be so much more mad. That would be
Mhm.
so bad. I think that's his only saving grace. That they talked about how that wasn't going to happen on the show,
Mhm.
and then you're like, okay, nothing really. Yeah, he led her on like crazy, but he didn't lead her on to use her and then pick the other girl, which would have been
Mm-hmm.
a lot worse.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that it was Letitia's decision and not his means like she really saved him
Mm-hmm.
because that could have been really bad.
Right. But do you think in a way he also used the fantasy suite week as a reason to not pick her?
That's a good point. That could be the case.
Because if he slept with Zoe and Juliana,
Yeah.
but then of course poor Zoe, like the fact that her fantasy suite date would have the rule of no talking during the date.
How do you go? How do you not get a one-on-one and then your first one-on-one you're not allowed to talk to your guy? That's insane.
My cat agrees.
The
That is
categories.
crazy.
My theory is that basically what they were going to do is they were going to have Grant bring on Zoe and the person he really wants,
Mm-hmm.
so that there is no confusion about who he picks. But he still couldn't make up his mind about the two, and they were like, "Okay, send Zoe home," because
Mm-hmm.
I feel like, in my opinion, based on a few seasons, what they do is they don't pick the two people he has the most chemistry with. They pick the person he has the most chemistry with, and then the third person, and they send the second one home so that it doesn't confuse the person in the last second and make them second guess themselves. And it makes for a better finale because he's more sure because he's
Mm-hmm.
already sent his second favorite home. This time I don't think he did that. I think these were his top two. I think these were legitimately his top two.
Mm-hmm.
I could see him with either one of these, but something that we didn't get to see is something about it made him pick Juliana more, and it's bizarre that that happened because honestly, I could have seen it going the other way too.
Right. Well, and this whole season, we saw him with every single girl, every single woman,
Yeah,
probably, pardon me, is that he was reassuring everybody
yeah,
at every single step of the way and like was not, for the most part, not engaging in any uncomfortable conversations with them. Like he can't handle any distress from
yeah.
the women whatsoever.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like with that, and then the whole deal about him with Rose and actually saying what he said, like
Mhm,
I think he's like very not careful with his words,
mhm.
and he's also kind of shady. I don't know. I got a little shady vibe from him, from the women tell all, and then from what Latia said. I get shady vibes, man. I don't think he was being a good dude about that stuff.
Yeah,
I was with him all the way until the women tell all, and then I was like, "Ooh, that's not great." And then this, I'm just like, "Ooh, that just cinched it."
okay. And so with the women tell all was the instance with the whole Rose situation. Was that the moment where you were like,
Yeah, because he was so convinced that she lied and made that up that he was
mhm,
thinking about her while dancing, and it was no way that could have been misinterpreted or whatever.
mhm,
And she's over there like, "That's what I thought you said." And she's completely confused, and he completely gaslit her into thinking that she didn't hear what she heard. Where
mhm,
really, yeah, for it could have been a miscommunication, but he didn't let her think of the miscommunication. He let her think she made the whole thing up in her head,
mhm,
and that was kind of messed up. And then they showed the clip of what actually happened, and
mhm,
he did imply that that's what happened.
mhm. On another part too, and maybe we did talk about it, but one of the last shots of the women tell all is, Jesse is doing his spiel of, oh, make sure to tune in next week for,
Yeah,
and you see Grant
yeah,
standing there looking so uncomfortable.
very uncomfortable.
And that made me think I was kind of on the train with everyone else where it's like, oh, does it not work out for him too? Kind of like how Jen, in the previous Bachelorette season, was
Yeah.
looking so miserable at the end of the Men Tell All. It's like, oh no, is
Yeah.
this history repeating itself somehow? We don't know. But so far, it's working out between him and Juliana. Granted, it's only been a full 24 hours.
Yeah, like we don't know, and sometimes people are incentivized to stay together for a little bit. They get to keep the ring apparently, and then split the costs of the ring, is what
Mhm.
we've been told. So I don't know. Maybe they'll stay together for a year and then break it off. I do think Juliana's like, she's also very beautiful, and like, yeah, like I could see him picking her for sure. That's nothing.
Mhm.
But the idea that they like tease this whole like he can't choose between two women, and like literally you can, if you were forwarding toward the commercials, you could have missed it because it was that
Mhm.
short. I
Yeah.
thought so many things were drawn out and stretched out. The one thing I wanted to see stretched out and drawn out was him having to decide between these two, and he kind of made a decision pretty easily. It didn't seem like it was that bad. It's not like I wanted to see him crying in the shower like Ben Higgins. Like what happened? Like that was the one where you tell two women that you love them, and they're crying, and he's in the shower consoling one of them and letting her know that I'm in love with two people. Like that's good TV, man. That was
Right.
good TV. I didn't see any of that.
Or like with Clayton, how, his final three, and he was in love with all three of them, supposedly. And like, even he really struggled
Yeah.
with that. And so it's like, how can you? I am so curious of how this season worked, because how can you go from telling someone that you're pretty much it from week 2
Yeah.
to all of a sudden changing your mind almost instantaneously?
The thing is, if you tell somebody you're episode 2, and then feelings develop and you change your mind about, and you have a bigger connection with somebody else, normal person would take the gas off, the throttle, and stop reassuring that person
Mhm,
and adding a little bit of like, hey, this may not end up, like having a little bit of stuff. But he never did. Like
mhm,
he doubled up and he
mhm.
tripled up, and then every single time he kept doing more and more till the last day. That doesn't make sense. That's kind of unhinged behavior. If you take it out of the show, pretend we're not on a TV show, we're not on a reality show, and he doesn't have contracts, and he doesn't have to like string this person along, or he doesn't have to like have a thing at the end. If a
Mhm,
guy was telling a girl and stringing her along that
mhm,
much to the point where he's going to tell her that he's going to get engaged to her the next day, and
mhm.
then chooses another person, you would say that person is crazy, right?
Yeah.
And then in this environment, you're kind of like, okay, you give them a little bit of break, but like how much? Because that's still a little crazy. Like to say that till the very end. She's
Mhm,
thinking that she comes in and she gives this beautiful speech. Oh my God, her speech was so good. She was like, you grew up, without a strong family, and I want to give you that family. And like she said all the right things. Like I think out of a lot of people, that might have been the best Bachelor female contestant like
mhm,
speech right before the ring, because that was beautiful. That was everything she said. I was like, this is amazing. How could he say no to this girl?
mhm,
And then boom, he just like drops it on her,
mhm,
and she's like, come on now, you know what you said, you know what you did. She's like,
mhm,
no, don't BS, Miz. Don't try to weasel your way out of it. Come on now. And I was like,
mhm.
wow, he did not give her any warning.
Yeah. Yeah, so I believe her when she says, "Oh, he was saying," when she said something on the lines of, "Oh, I can't believe, like, the engagement day is tomorrow. We're going to get engaged. I
Yeah,
know. I can't wait.
yeah,
I love you. I love you. I love you."
that's crazy.
What is anyone supposed to take from that other than I'm going to propose to you tomorrow?
I would have no doubt that that's what's gonna happen if someone's reaction was like that. There'd be no doubt in my mind.
Mhm. That's so.
Unhinged behavior, man. And then speaking of Clayton, let's talk about that, because they brought out Charity, Clayton, and Gary, and to all talk about how they were in love with two people at the same time.
Mhm,
And the thing is, like, what they really should have done has brought the spouse back and be like, how do you feel about watching it back and being like, they were not sure about
Mhm.
you until the very end? That's what I want to see, because
Yeah.
that's more thing. 'Cause, like, and Juliana was like, yeah, I think she kind of crossed it over, but like, she said that, hey, you're gonna have to explain things to Juliana because you said things to me that like were not okay. And
Mhm.
I think Juliana had to support her man like they all do. Like once you pick them, they're like, hey, you need to show a united front. I think that's what they do. But deep down, I could see her being mad at that.
Mhm. No, I think who was it? It was the runner-up from Zach Shawcross's season. Oh, what was her name?
Zach Shaka, but then it Gabby
Yes,
or Rachel.
Gabby.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was Gabby, and she was saying something similar about, like, why do we continually put the runner-ups through this?
yeah,
As well as I think she also called attention to what you said about, don't bring out the people who were in love with two people because that creates a very biased conversation.
yeah.
I
I
think
know.
she talked about it, but maybe I'm wrong
Yeah,
because my
and
brain
then
is something.
and the Clayton thing was even weirder because he said he was in love with all three of them. But like, if you were in love with all three women and one chose to leave, that makes your job easier. That's like, okay, you know what? I was in love with all three of you, but you decided to leave. That makes my choice easier. He
Mhm.
decided to go after the one who left. So
Right.
like that, and to me, he actually did the bad thing that we're saying that Grant didn't do. He actually slept with the two women, and then the one he didn't sleep with is the one he went after,
Mhm.
which is kind of sleazy. And he got a lot of flack for it, as he should. Um, I thought that was very interesting that they brought him back and not point out how problematic that was.
I, I have no idea what producers are doing at this point
Yeah,
because Bachelor Nation, we remember.
we do. And the thing is that he met her family, she met his family. To
Mhm.
do that was pretty rough.
Well, and to top it all off, Latia, who is Mormon, who has tried dating in within her Mormon
Yeah,
circles,
yeah.
and it always falls flat on its face every time. To go from that to go on a show where it's like, okay, I'm going to date someone who's not Mormon because clearly it's not working out
Yeah.
within my community of Mormonism, and it still doesn't work out.
Yeah, right? Exactly. The other thing I find interesting is that he did bring up her timeline and her biological clock. And
Mhm.
to me, that gave me, hey, his plan was pretend like she's the one till the very end, throw in a few sprinkles of not being confident about her timeline, and then at the very end use that as an excuse to break up with her. But she wouldn't let that happen because like when they talked about timelines, she's like, okay, if you don't want to have kids right away, if you have a good reason, we can figure that out. If you want to be financially better, or you want to be in a better place in your career and then have kids, then we can wait. And she
Mhm.
gave him the best answers to everything. And he was like, crap, now I don't have an out anymore. And I
Mhm.
felt like that was the one thing that I feel like he did sprinkle. But she
Mhm.
was like, hey, listen, if this is going to be an issue, we can make it a non-issue. Like, it's fine.
Mhm.
If you have a good reason, then
Mhm.
we don't need to have kids right away. It's fine.
Right.
It does feel like that is something that he kind of sprinkled in there, and that may have been his reason for not choosing her. But I don't think that was a good enough reason because I think she was amendable to that.
I noticed that too. And I love Latia because she has the right approach on love, is that it's not about ourselves, it's about
Hmm.
the person that we want to pour our energy into,
Yeah,
and that hopefully it's reciprocated in the same way, and those are part of the ingredients that help a relationship grow.
yeah,
But I felt the same way where he's like, "Well, what if I'm not sure if to have kids in a couple years after we're married? Like, how married are you to your timeline?" It's like, well, she doesn't have to be, but the longer you wait, the harder it is for a woman to have children.
Yeah, exactly. And he said that, like, he has one relationship where someone would love him unconditionally and treat him like he wants to be treated and make him feel like a man and all this stuff. And then the other one is fun. I was like, oh, what?
So hearing that again in quick succession,
Yeah.
that to me tells me that he doesn't want any pushback in a relationship.
Mm.
What are your thoughts, though?
I think that he is getting engaged for the sake of getting engaged, but he really just wants to date, and that's it. And to be honest, I feel like Juliana actually wants the same thing. I don't think she's ready to get married either. I feel like she's talked about how she's still broken and she's recovering from things that she's going through with. And she was one of the later people to say, I love you. I think that Grant and Juliana both just want to date. And they will date for a while and then they will break up amicably. I think they're both not super into it. And Latia was like 10 toes down. She was ready to get married. She was ready to have his babies. Like, she was in it. She was going to be a trad wife and basically be traditional, and whatever he wanted, she was going to do. And I think Juliana is possibly younger, and she's not talking about having kids. And I don't think she's super, like, I think she likes Grant as if like a boyfriend, but I don't think she's ready to marry Grant, and I don't think Grant's ready to marry her. So I think they both lucked out. I think they both want the same thing out of this relationship, which is to win the show, get a little bit of clout, date hot people, and then probably break it off. I don't see them making it. I don't know about you.
I don't see them making it either. And it kind of makes me think of back in last week's episode where, Juliana was talking about how broken she still is. And Grant at some point, either in the commercial or on the show itself, I don't remember because my brain is melted, but he said something on the lines of love fixes everything. It's like, no, love heals everything. But people don't have to be fixed. They have to be healed.
Good point. I like that. That's so true. I don't know. This was a very this was such a lackluster season that we didn't even do a podcast episode for each episode. I think we've done 4 or 3 episodes for this whole season, and it was just not enough to get excited about.
No. I also wonder, oh, please don't lose this thought. Oh, did I lose it? Oh, it'll come to me later.
Okay. That's fine. Yeah, so they did that. And they talked about Zoe being on Bachelor in Paradise. So they picked one person. So they're going to probably start announcing people for Bachelor in Paradise. But I don't know. I don't know if I'm into the show. The Golden Bachelorette was great for a bit because it was like nice and it was wholesome and it gave us something different. I don't know how many more seasons of that I can take before it goes stale. No pun intended because they're old, but so
I remember my thought. Stale and old. Anyway, do you think because Grant is the second Black Bachelor?
Yeah. Male. Yeah.
Second Black male Bachelor. Thank you. Do you think production went into overdrive in protecting him because of how badly they flubbed up Matt James'
season? 100%. Which is probably the right thing to do. But the thing where they messed up at Matt James so badly was it involved the race. The issues here didn't involve race. There was no issue of race here. It was just an issue of like, even though, he did pick a white girl over a person of color. But I don't think that was the big issue here. It could be, but at least the show didn't play it off that way. Whereas
Right.
the other one, race was a factor in the show
Mhm.
and outside the show in the real world.
Yeah.
I didn't see that in this one.
Mhm.
So I understand them protecting him when it comes to things like that, but this is just him and his bad decisions. Like that's
Right.
on you. Like
Yeah.
you are telling somebody you're about to get engaged to them one day before telling them or dumping them, knowing full well what you're gonna do. Like I don't buy this whole like, oh, it took me to the last second to decide. Because
Mhm.
if it took me to the last second to decide and then I dumped them and then someone told me to reconsider, I'd be like, yeah, okay, maybe. Like I don't know. Like, if it's that hard, all I need for them to change my mind is to fight for me a little bit, and I'm like there, right?
Mhm.
It's if it's that close,
Mhm.
it shouldn't be that easy to put her in a car and let her go, and he did that with ease.
Yeah. Uh, I'm mad for Latia. I will put it that way. Because I've gone through things like that, and I'm sure you and other
Hmm.
audience members have gone through something like that too, where a person says one thing to you, but then their actions just don't line up until much later when you've already become vulnerable and offering pieces of yourself that not a lot of people get to see.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And I feel for her in which she was definitely taken for granted.
I know. I would
Grant.
granted.
That was not on purpose, everybody. I
That's
uh,
funny.
I fell ass first into first place in that one.
That's so funny. Um, honestly, I would not mind seeing Latia as the Bachelorette,
I would love that,
but
honestly.
they would have to pick real good guys for her and guys who are not, uh, you know, worried about marrying somebody who's Mormon. Like that has to be
Mhm,
like legit because
mhm,
they're a very tight knit community, and you can't just be
mhm,
like winging it with them. Like
mhm,
even if you don't convert yourself, like you're still part of that culture, right?
mhm.
It's more than just a religion; it's a lifestyle. So even if you
Yeah,
don't practice it, like there's
mhm,
still parts of the culture that you engage with.
mhm,
Um, so I don't know. I would like to see her because I feel like her last fend off speech was
mhm,
amazing. I think she did a
mhm.
great job of saying like what she deserves and what she expects. And I really hope she does find her love story because she's really sweet. She's really nice. She knows what she wants. It's
Mhm.
very rare.
Yeah. I really, if this franchise continues and somehow revives itself,
Yeah.
I would love to see her as the next Bachelorette. And I think, wouldn't she be the first Polynesian Bachelorette?
Is that what she is? She's Polynesian?
I think so. Or I think her father was Hawaiian.
That makes sense because Polynesians, there is a strong Polynesian community of Mormons. If
Mhm.
you watch the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City,
Mm,
Jen Shaw and her family, they're Polynesian and they're also Mormon. So
okay.
I guess that's the thing. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'm pretty sure she's Polynesian, but not only for that, but like she just seems like such a really sweet, smart,
Yeah.
sophisticated lady, you know.
Yeah, I really did like seeing her. She really won me over at the very end. She said all the right things, and she seems like somebody who is really genuine, really serious.
Mhm.
It sucks that this happened to her, but it's the name of the game. That's what happens.
It's a game of roses.
Yeah,
And there,
yeah,
Juliana
uh,
is our ring winner, but so am I. So therefore,
yeah,
I just had to bring it up one more time before it
yeah. Listen,
glitters off.
the real winner of the season is April.
Me,
She's the only
finally.
one. She's the only one with the real engagement, in my opinion. That's funny. All right. There anything that you want to talk about that we didn't get to the chance to mention?
um, oh, I'm trying to think if anything else happened. I just felt bad for Zoe. I don't think
But
Grant
Zoe
and
was also the villain of this season. I don't feel that bad
kind
for her.
of,
She took time away from the kids, man. From the kids.
well, the kids will be fine. They enjoyed missing school for a day, even though they supposedly complained about it. But it's like, you could be shooting hoops on your own, kids. Like, no one's
Yeah,
stopping you.
yeah.
Rebel, children. Come on. You're good at doing that.
The kids just wanted airtime. That's what it was.
They just want their Instagram followers.
That's true. That's true. They wanted that clout. They wanted that kitty clout.
Yes. Yes, indeed. As far as anything else, no, I think we explored everything because I didn't watch the Fantasy Suite episode at all. I just saw bits and pieces of it.
I watched it, but I was on my phone half the time. I zoned in and out. It was pretty lackluster. This season just didn't grab me the way it normally does. Usually, I'm on the edge of my seats with the drama.
What I would give for another like era of like, Hannah Brown like seasons or Pilot Pete seasons, like
Bring her home.
Bring her home to us, Peta.
Oh, that was peak. That was so peak.
Peak
I remember
television.
Those were good times. Those
So
were good times. The
now what
economy
are we
was doing
gonna do?
well. We could afford eggs back then.
Oh,
The richest man in the world didn't own Twitter. Like
God,
things
yeah.
were better back then.
When we were young and naive.
We were young and naive. Ugh, oh well. Well, guys, thank you for joining us this season. We try to make it as entertaining as we could. Didn't love this season. Hopefully the show brings it back around. But hey, let us know in the comments. What other shows are you watching? What else should we do? Should we do Temptation Island? Should we do Love Island? Should we do F-Boy Island? There's a lot of damn islands on here. And then there's also shows like Traders. I heard Traders is really good. There's the Mr. Beast show. There's so many shows that are reality TV that we could do. Let us know what you want us to cover, and we will cover. Maybe we don't do Bachelor anymore. Maybe we'll move on and do something more exciting. So Love is Blind is still on the list, so we'll see. But that's all we got for this season. Thank you, April, so much for joining us. And until next time, guys, Salaam, nerds.
Bye.